Yeah, it's true that in 15 to 20 out of the 193 member states of the United Nations, there is a backlash against LGBT people, including in countries like Russia, Ethiopia, Indonesia, Uganda, Brunei, and so on. But those countries are still a very small minority. The overall global trend is towards greater rights for LGBT people. So we've seen the decriminalisation of homosexuality in recent years in countries like Mozambique, the Seychelles, Belize, Northern Cyprus, and so on. Things are powering ahead in the right direction, even though a small number of countries are sadly going backwards. But of course, businesses who operate globally have a huge capacity to set a benchmark in terms of LGBT acceptance and understanding within their workforces. Even when they're operating in countries where there is criminalization or a lack of public acceptance, it's very, very important that businesses have an equality and diversity policy that's inclusive of sexual orientation and gender identity. That can help set a benchmark by which employees can know that that company is a safe, welcoming space for LGBT people, and that prejudice and discrimination is not tolerated in the workplace. Now, it's true that in very repressive homophobic countries, businesses have to be quite careful. They're treading a fine line. But quite a lot of businesses have managed in countries like Uganda and Russia to have LGBT policies within their local workforces. It's sometimes or often very discreet, but nevertheless, that does set the agenda within those workplaces, and it does make LGBT employees and their straight friends and allies feel welcome and safe. There's undoubtedly a paramount concern that LGBT rights are accepted on the basic human rights principle, that everyone should be equal before the law. But in cases where people are not convinced by that, then we're finding in some cases the business arguments in favour of decriminalisation and the acceptance of LGBT people does have more traction. I'm not saying it's a game changer, but I think it's an augment to the human rights argument, and for some business people for whom economic success is the bottom line, it is and can be a more compelling argument than merely the human rights argument.
And what challenges would you say remain in Tesco supply chains for LGBT employees?
So I think our supply chain is global, so I think there's a lot of different legislative frameworks across our global footprint, and I think what we will do over the next year is look at how we can work more supply base and support LGBT colleagues both working for Tesco and working for our suppliers, and look at and what more opportunity there is for us to take more of an active role. And I think through our partnership with the Open for Business Coalition, I think we're making really good progress in that space, and it's a great forum to have that discussion at.
And can you see work that you've done within the UK transferring across Tesco's global supply chain?
Yeah, definitely. So I think we've seen, I think the supply chain, there's still a lot more stuff to be done. I think a lot of work's been done positively in Tesco domestically, and I think we see that appearing in different markets. So certainly our supplier hub in Czech Republic, we've had a lot of colleagues kind of come out and show support out at Tesco, and they've used it's been a good point for them in their work with suppliers, to be able for them to be themselves and be a bit more transparent, and let suppliers actually see the face of Tesco colleagues that are LGBT, and that hopefully should help stimulate a good conversation.